Okay, y'all remember Absalom is King David's boy. That's his son. Absalom is King David's son. And they've had problems. Remember, Absalom killed Amon. Amon is the guy who raped his sister. So today's lesson is about Absalom. Yeah, I'm on YouTube thing. How's it going? So, King David. Dang it. Alright, tonight we're going to talk about King dang it. Hey guys, good morning. It's morning where I am. Today's lesson is about Absalom, or today's bedtime story is about Absalom, who was David's king, who was super handsome, and when you weighed his hair, it was really heavy. All right, he starts doing this thing called the conspiracy. All right, what a conspiracy is it's when you decide you're going to basically steal the kingdom away from the king and kill him. Usually it'll be an assassination type of thing, which is killing a king or killing an important person. And Absalom starts his plan to take over the kingdom, and this is how he does it. First thing he does is he gets a chariot and a lot of horses, which in today's equivalent would be like, getting a lot of fancy cars and then he got some people to run ahead of him, 50 men to run ahead of him. So he's becoming popular. He has like the paparazzi around him. He's got bodyguards. He's got fancy cars. He's showing that he's like super important. Then he went outside the gate, and anytime anybody would come in, he'd ask them about, "Hey, what's your name? How you doing? I know you." And he was schmoozing and getting to know everybody. And he did this for 4 years. He would sit outside the gate, and he would ask about their problems, and he would say this. He'd say, "Look, your claims are valid and proper, but there is no representative for you. If only I was the king, I would take care of all that for you, but I'm not the king." And he would do this, and then when people would come to him and they'd kind of like treat him as all important. He was the king's kid, so he was pretty important. And they would go to kiss his hand, and he would reach down and he would give him a big kiss. Try to make everybody feel important, and everybody's hearts started really loving Absalom and started thinking, "Oh, we just wish he was the king." And it was all what we call a conspiracy. He didn't care. He wasn't really trying to love the people. He was trying to become a king, right? And he was doing it through trickery. So eventually, he asked if he could go to. He asked his dad if he could go to another city. To Hebron, and there was where he was gonna make his move. So what he did is he asked for a lot of important people to come, and they didn't know what was going on. And then he hired a whole bunch of secret men, messengers throughout the tribes. And he told them, as soon as you hear the trumpet of the sound, I want all of you guys to start yelling, "Absalom is king! Absalom is king!" And it's like, it was a trick. He was going to make it sound like everybody had just decided that they were going to oust David and make him king. But he had just hired people to say that. So all these important people that came, they didn't know any better. And basically Absalom stole the kingdom from his father. And as soon as David heard this, he realized that Absalom was basically on the hunt and was going to kill him. His own boy was going to kill him. So it says the conspiracy gained strength, and someone came and told David, and as soon as David heard of it, he said, "Come, we must flee." and they all flee. They all ran. Everyone in his household, all the king, all of his family, all of his helpers, the whole countryside wept aloud as all the people passed by. They left. All right, and they even took the Ark of the Covenant. The Levite, the priest, took the Ark of the Covenant as they were leaving. And David, he stopped them as they left. They just got outside the town, and he said, "Listen, let's not take the Ark. Let's keep that here, and hope that the Lord will bring me back." So the Levites took the Ark back into the city. And he said, "For the Lord's eyes are there, and maybe he will bring me back and let me see it." So this is a horrible day for David. He had to leave the palace, and they all tore their clothes. And for some reason, I don't know why, it says, David continued up the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went. His head was covered, and he was barefoot. So he made this journey, this run, this fleeing his own town. He had to leave the thing that was most important to him, the Ark of the Covenant. He has his family, his servants, and they're running, and he's barefoot, and they're going into the desert. His head's covered, and they're all weeping. It's a gigantic cry fest. It's a horrible, horrible day. Terrible, horrible, no good for nothing, lousy day. So, David travels, and he's exhausted. And as he starts approaching this town, there's a man from the clan of Saul's family. Now, you've got to imagine, I think of the Christmas story where the boy has had a horrible, horrible day, and the bully sound, dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun. That's, I don't remember how it goes exactly, but Ralphie's had a really bad day, and the bully throws a snowball in his face. Do you remember that? And he starts laughing at him. Well, David's had this horrible day. He's no longer king. His kid's trying to kill him. He's been barefoot walking through the desert. Everyone's been crying. He's had this horrible, horrible day. And then someone from Saul's family, Saul, the guy that chased him all over Timbuktu, Kalamazoo forever, and David hadn't done anything wrong. Saul, the man who David always took up for, the guy that he didn't kill, but tried to honor, respect, tried with all his might to do good by him. Someone from Saul's family comes out after David's had this horrible, horrible day. His name was Shimei, and he cussed at him. He cussed him out as he came out. He pelted David and all the king's officers with stones. Even though all the officers were special guard, which means they were super strong, buff guys that could totally kill anybody. All of them, to the right and to the left. And as he cussed as they went through, and he kept saying, "Get out, you're a man of blood. All this has happened to you because of all the horrible stuff you did to Saul and all the stuff you did to his household. The Lord has given your kingdom to your boy. The Lord has handed the kingdom over to your son Absalom. You have come to ruin." Horrible day, and this guy comes out. He starts screaming and cussing. He's throwing rocks at him. He's showering, another place says he's showering them with dirt, cussing at him, and accusing him of being mean and horrible to King Saul, who he never was horrible to King Saul. He was very kind to King Saul. Mephibosheth, King Saul's grandson, is living at his house. He's been taking care of his kids. So, what do you think David would want to do to somebody that's being like that to him? It would make sense he'd go over there and cut his head off, right? but he doesn't. He does something that's called take the high road. Okay. So one of David's men came over to him and said, "Why should this dead dog curse my Lord? Let me go over and cut his head off." And David said, "No, it's okay. Let him cuss." And David took the high road. He wasn't going to just kill someone because they were being mean to him. He wasn't going to make this day worse by getting angry. And he took the high road. He was kind to that man because that man was part of Saul's family. And he had made a deal with Jonathan that he was going to show kindness to Jonathan's family. And that man was part of Saul's family. So he kept his promise. He took the high road. Be pretty hard, wouldn't it? After you had a horrible day. But we can learn a lot from King David. Even if you're having a bad day, does it mean it's okay? Since I had a bad day, I can punch you out, or I can be really mean to you with my words, or I can go off the handle and say mean things, and I'll just say I'm sorry later. It's okay if you have a bad day. David, in the midst of a horrible bad day, took the high road. So, any questions? What did Absalom buy for himself? He bought horses and chariots, men to run ahead of him. And then what would he do when people came to the gate? Then how long did he do it? Then he went to a city and he hired a bunch of guys to yell something. What was it? Then David had to leave, and when he left, he was in such a hurry, he forgot something. And some guy came out. What did the guy do? And what did David do about that guy? He took the... You guys have a good night. Sweet dreams.